Man, I finally get a free minute to do a little of this video stuff. It's been a super busy week. Work has really picked up. I've been in meetings all week long, and I really haven't had a lot of time to sit down and do long form videos. And there's this guy who's driving a scooter, one of those little 30cc Walmart piece of crap, up and down the street with no muffler on it. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm about to go out there and clothesline him. Just some guy in this cheap little, one of the little Chinese scooters that you could buy off Wish or whatever. And I'm gonna grab like a pole and just hold it out and let him bink. I don't know what he's doing. I was testing the engine or what, but he's like revving it, just driving back and forth. And it is loud. Holy crap. You'd be surprised how loud those things are without little mufflers. I don't know, maybe he thinks it's cool. I've had to reshoot this intro like 5 times already. So, quick update. I wanted to have some fun this morning and do response to comments. It's been a couple of weeks since I haven't really responded to any comments, so I got a few that popped out and caught my attention, and I thought we'd have some fun with that. I'm still sick. Now I'm having the opposite problem. Before I was getting stuffed up and bloated, and we seem to have figured that out, but now I have the opposite problem where I am literally crapping myself to death. Like, it's just going right through me like it's supposed to. Holy crap, I'm down to 200 pounds this morning. I don't seem to have lost a lot of strength, so I think a lot of that's water. Hopefully. I have lost a little bit, though. I've definitely lost some strength. So I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. They did draw some blood. We're doing some testing just to make sure there's nothing weird going on underlying. But it seems like it's probably something like salmonella or some sort of issue, something you could pick up. Salmonella fits the symptoms, so it's very possible that's what I have. I mean, the kids, one of Delphine's friends picked it up here at the house. Like probably drinking milk that sat out, or maybe one of the eggs from the chicken coop didn't get. Who knows? I mean, it's rare to get, but it's not impossible. And with the hygiene of the children in this house, well, who knows? I mean, a lot of times my daughter will leave food on the counter. She doesn't finish her breakfast, and I'll see half a bagel and I'll eat it because I don't like wasting food. So I probably poisoned myself. I have no idea. But that's where I'm at. Anyway, let's dive in. First up to bat, we have a gentleman named Trudeau TRR. And he writes, "Still ass crybaby emoji. Why are you powerlifting at 50? Go play with your kids and TRT max." He spells it MAXX. Like, I guess maybe he's referring to max. Like, what's your max? I don't know. I have no idea what that means. I don't know the context of this comment. I guess they're having a conversation about me. I'm not in this conversation. Somebody forwarded this to me. And, they like to do that. They're like, hey, they're talking about you again. I know they want me to respond. And normally I don't. It's like, if someone's like willing to have a conversation about me behind my back and I'm not involved me directly, like what does it matter? It's a private conversation. But I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, why am I still powerlifting at 50? Well, we'll answer that in a second. But it's to go play with your kids. Okay. I don't know why people think that if you have a hobby as a father, whether it's weightlifting or maybe you're into cars. I know a lot of guys are into cars. Golf. Oh my God, the guys that golf, and they spend way more time golfing than I do lifting, I can assure you. Guys that golf for fun, they are in it. I know guys that are addicted to lawn care. They're out there watering all day long. I mean, whatever dad's into. Does that mean if you do anything for fun and take it seriously, you can't have a family life? I don't understand the correlation. I don't know what my lifting and people, because this comes up a lot. People tell me that you're like, well, you should be focused on being a good father. Well, what? Why would you think I'm not? Like, what are you suggesting? Like, what are you saying? My kids are in a lot of my videos. I train with them all the time. I play with them all the time. I spend a significant amount of time doing stuff with my kids. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say I would challenge you to find a dad who's more involved than me, you know, like, because when my kids are doing stuff, I'm out there with them. You know, a lot of the parents are on the sidelines watching them, and they're on their phones or doing whatever. And you know, a lot of activities I notice for parents, they'll bring their kids, and it's like their time to get away from them, like the gymnastics or karate or whatever, fill in the blank, whatever activity your kids do, they'll drop the kids off, and then that's their time to get away from them for an hour or two. And Christina and I, we're usually involved. We're there with them. So I don't get the comment. It doesn't make sense to me. So maybe you could clarify, like, what do you think I should be doing better? I would love to know. Now the other part, and TRT Max. What does that mean? Like, is that a comment about me being on testosterone, or I don't know. I don't get it. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And to be fair, I don't have the context for the conversation, so who knows what the hell he's talking about. Now the still ass. I'm guessing he's referring to me not being a good lifter. I guess a mid 1600s total isn't good enough at the age of 50, under 220 pounds. I mean, I don't know. There's only like 3 other people in the world that have a higher total than me right now. So I guess that's just not good enough. So, well, you know, hey, I don't have to tell you. I'm doing my best. I never claimed to be a good lifter. I just show the rankings and where I stand, and then you can all make your own mind up. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. Are they good? No, maybe we all suck. Maybe every single over 45 lifter is just bad, and we're ranked by those bad scores. You know, we're all terrible. Like, that's just the best. Maybe if normal people that were lifting at home would take up the sport of powerlifting, they would immediately break all the records going back to the 70s and just show us how it's all done. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, that's what you should do. You should just get there, go into competition, and show the rest of the world how much better you are than we are. You know, all these guys that are saying that our totals aren't good and that we're not strong and whatever. It's like, well, he's no John Hack. You know, they're comparing me to Michael Jordan. Like, if I'm not as good as the very best that's ever lived, I'm not a good lifter. Like, I don't have to tell you. Now, the crybaby part, that I got. I do whine a lot. I'm turning into that old curmudgeon, you know, the like, hey, conditions, it was too damn chewy, you know, like, my bones is aching, must be a storm brewing, silence, devil woman. that old curmudgeon on the porch, just whittling wood. Be gone, get off my porch, get off my lawn. I'm gonna be Walter, yeah. I am kind of turning into that guy. I mean, bitching about everything. It's either too hot or it's too cold, or there's no humidity, or it's too damp. Hey. All right, next comment. This one's 5 days old. You can see I'm lagging, boys. So this is at Mark Zuck D's Nuts 15. Mark Zuck D's Nuts 15. That's how clever. He writes, you also have muscles in your legs. Now this is in response to the football bar bench press. Best bro bench for big bad boobies. Boobies. Yes I do. And I'm looking at the thumbnail, and it's not a very flattering picture of my legs, so he must be one of those guys that just like sees one video and assumes that that's like the only training someone does. We post a 60-second training video, and people are like, wow, you also got to do it. And I'm like, oh, do I should work the lower body too? You mean this last 60-second video is the entirety of my training and the only thing I ever do ever? I don't do anything else. I don't even walk. I don't even get out of bed. I don't even know how I made this video. I just someone set me on the bench and then set the weight in my arms, and that's all I do. And then they take it back from me and put me back in my capsule. So I just posted a link of me squatting 600 pounds. And he never responded to it, which is kind of disappointing. It's like, I get a lot of these videos where, like, say we're maxing out squats. I get a lot of these. and it'll be a little shaky, or maybe I'm coming out of the groove a little because I'm maxing out, like I'm pushing as much as I can. And someone will be like, well, your form wasn't that great. You need to do this and that and the other thing. And it's like, yeah, I'm aware of that. You know, when you max out, it usually tends to look a little ugly because if you're really, really maxing out, if you're really, really, really maxing as much as you can, where you have to like convince your body to do it, you're probably not going to look your best. It's probably not going to be the best looking rep you ever did. And, you know, these people criticize it like we're in the Olympics, man. Like, we're not in the garage training. Like, oh, you didn't hit depth on every one of those in that set. It's like, okay, they don't count. They count for what? They're not squats. I went down and up, right? Like, it's a training set. You're training to get stronger. You're not competing. Like, it's okay to train to get better at something, and if you don't do it right, you're training, so you're going to do it again until you do get it right. Does that making sense? You picking up what I'm putting down? Like, training is supposed to be imperfect. You're training. You're getting better. But then back to the original comment, it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Thank you. I guess I'll leave it at that. I appreciate you looking out for me. This next comment is a little more serious. This is from HVAC in the 973. That is a cool name. And he writes, in regards to my video, why did a Lifetime Natural go on steroids or PEDs at the age of 45? And his comment is, big difference between TRT and blasting trend. Mostly only matters if you're trying to sell SHIT to people and being deceptive, hawking some BS powder in a can with fancy label, telling kids it's going to get them jacked when it's wrong. The comment goes on, but the sentiment basically, it's like, what he's saying is, one, when we're talking about being on TRT, like, we need to make the distinction of being on actual doctor prescribed hormone replacement therapy or testosterone, blasting and cruising, being on trend, being on Anadrol, being on whatever, fill in the blank. For me, it's a two things are true at the same time kind of thing. I say that a lot. Two things can be true at the same time, because the times that I have gone on cycle for competition, I don't stay on it. Like, I'd be dead. I would have been dead 5 years ago. You just can't do that. You can't do that to your body. So in between, I am right now I am on doctor prescribed TRT and nothing else, like zero. I actually purposely came off of everything after this last competition, specifically to give my body a break. I want to, you know what's weird? I don't know if there's a correlation, but ever since I did that, I'm falling apart. Like, I've been suffering from these digestive problems. I've lost feeling in my fingers. I can barely grip. I got a pinched nerve to where I can't hold onto the barbell, which is why I was using straps in that last deadlift video. Like right now, if I try to pick something up and hold it, I can barely, like I'm losing. Doctor says, like, I am slowly getting feeling back, so he thinks I got a pinched nerve back there. Like, they said the nerve clusters in the shoulder blade. So that's another reason I broke the inversion table out of it, trying to loosen everything. I don't have any pain. Like, there's no pain. It feels like my hand's asleep. You know, that feeling like when you lay on it and it falls asleep. It's like that, but it's not going away. And it's been like that for 4 or 5 days. And it really sucks. So I keep trying to pick things up and I keep dropping them. And then, of course, you know, I've been crapping my brains out. Like, literally, I can't go 20 feet from a toilet. Can't trust farts. Let me tell you, we've had a couple of accidents. Not something you really want to talk about, but I'm just being real. And it's like, the only correlation I have is that I'm as close to natural as I've been since I was 45 right now, right this minute. And it's like, man, I'm falling apart. What's going on? I don't know what to tell you, but the sentiment is true. Like, for me, it's like, no, it's a personal decision. It's really nobody's business. Like, I really could care less of what you do with your body in your own time, as long as you're not cheating at sports or trying to use it for ill-gotten gains. When I first started training, I subscribed to Muscle and Fitness, and my idol was Jay Cutler. I picked him because it seemed like underneath the huge hulking frame was a body that's similar to mine, skeletal. You know, his skeleton and mine are very similar. And I thought, if I do everything Jay Cutler does, I'm going to get huge like him, because I'm a pretty stocky guy. I have the ability to put on muscle pretty fast. Is it unrealistic to think that I could just, if I train as hard as him and I do everything he does, and I take his supplements? I mean, there's a restaurant in town. They sell these. It's like a noodle shop, and they got a bowl called the Jay Cutler bowl, and it's a big bowl with 3 meats: chicken, steak, and shrimp. I think the other one is. It's like and on top of noodles and rice, and it's like carbs and meat. It's the Jay Cutler bowl. So I was ordering that every day for lunch, and I'm just thinking, I'm gonna look like Jay Cutler. And then obviously following his leg routine, like within 3 or 4 weeks, I was thrashed, and I was like, how is this man doing this? This is incredible. Like, I was killing myself trying to keep up with the workouts that he had in Muscle and Fitness. They were nuts. And then somebody pointed out, like, well, he's on at that time I didn't really have any knowledge. Like, I knew it. It's not like I'm not a retard. I knew what steroids were, and I knew guys that were on steroids, and I knew that they make you bigger and jacked and all that. But what I didn't know was that you couldn't get that way unless you were on them. That's what I didn't know. I didn't know what the natural borderline is, where you jump, the limits of the human body and how far you could push that before you have to go on drugs to look a certain way. And that's different for everybody, but generally speaking, the telltale signs, if it looks unnatural, it probably is. That's usually what I go with. I don't do the natty and that thing. I could care less. And that's why I've told you guys everything I'm doing, because it's like, to me, it's really not that interesting of a conversation. We're in the strength sports at a high level, training with high level athletes. It's like kind of one of those things, like, what are we, naive? Of course they're all on steroids, but who gives a crap? That has nothing to do with anything. I mean, you might have personal convictions, and some of you use it as a coping mechanism. You know who you are. You're a victim instead of a volunteer. But outside of that, it's just like, I don't know. I never really thought of it as that interesting. But he's right. As long as you're not selling stuff, as long as you're not using that to, rip dumb kids like me off, I don't see any problem with it. But once you do cross that line, I think you don't get. I mean, look at the Liver King. I mean, he deserves every bit of what's coming to him. Like, we all knew there was no way in hell that guy was natural. But, a lot of people really did believe if they ate cow balls and, a bunch of other disgusting crap, and that's all they ate, they were going to get enormous like he is. And sure, it all helps. I've read reviews on his supplements, and they are, from what I can see, they're good. It's a very good supplement line that he runs. But so why did he have to lie? He could have told the world that, like, he's my age. He could have said, yeah, I'm on testosterone. Yeah, I take this, that, and the other thing. And then he could have sold the virtues of the supplements, because now he's ruined 2 things, his reputation and his product. Like, nobody's going to buy that product. And everybody that looks at it is going to think. And it could very well be an awesome product. Rich Piana had a couple of supplements that were really good. But he was actually super honest about what got him to where he was, because we all saw the results of that. No, for me, it's just the best policy is just be honest. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to judge, they're going to think what they want to think, but I'm just going to make sure that you guys have the best information I have, and I'm not going to be responsible for anybody making ill-deformed decisions because of a misconception, if that makes sense. All right, kiddos, that's about all the time I have. I got to get my butt to work, and this video is getting a little bit long in the tooth. Hopefully you found it entertaining. If you did, throw me a subscription, throw me a like, leave me comments. I need comments so I can respond to them. The ones that, I don't care, be rude, have fun, or if you want to talk about something, give me something. We can have a serious discussion, we can poke fun at each other, we can do the whole 9 yards. It's all good to me. It's all fun content. I enjoy looking through my comment sections and trying to pick out diamonds in the rough. I'm gonna get to work. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield.